Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So welcome back to the Bhakti House. And tonight, we are going to talk about a couple of things, just a few things going on. I just want to kind of touch you guys up to date on some of the going-ons here at the Bhakti House. Before we do that, though, I just want to say a quick prayer to Lord Krishna. And I also want to make sure that we just connect here a little bit as family, as community, and just to kind of catch everybody up to date on things. And yeah, it's been a bit of a warm day, so just kind of taking it easy, a little bit relaxed today. So a couple of things going on here in the near future. We've got some visitors that are coming, so I've been working diligently to try to get things ready for the visitors. We have a saying in India, of course, it's called guest is God. So when we have visitors, we always try to make sure that they're well taken care of, that they're happy, that we do everything we can to serve them nicely, just like we would serve Krishna, just like we would serve any devotee. So that's one of the big things that's happening now. So we expect them in the first part of July, so maybe the first week of July even. So not exactly sure the final dates on anything, but that's just kind of like where we're at kind of with things right now. What else? Things have just been really hectic, I guess is a good way of putting it. Just doing a lot of service. We've had a lot of projects this last month here in June. Just a lot of frenetic energy in a lot of ways. Just like go, 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 go. It's like so busy, like so many different things happening. We've started to put together on our blog post a lot more content. We've been putting that together and trying to make that really nice for the devotees. People have requested that from us. They really appreciate the blog post, especially some of our international devotees. We've been putting the blog posts not just in English, but we've also been putting them in Hindi as well. Different blog posts, they're not the exact same blog post, but the content is in alignment with our values and our tradition and everything. So that's one thing that I'm kind of really happy about, is that we're able to do that. We've run into some technical hiccups, and so one of the things that people don't really count on so much is this ASCII. It's like the format that we use, the modern day format for when we're actually translating things in the Devanagari script, or any kind of non-Latin character. So it could be like Russian, for example, or Chinese or Arabic, any of those kind of. So suffice it to say, without getting too long-winded here, when you put those in the URL, or you put those, they're called slugs, like when it's like www.domain.com / and whatever comes after that. Oftentimes, like when we do English blog posts, those are like in the English. So those English characters are fine. But when we try to translate those over into Devanagari and all, we came into some difficulty as far as doing that. But we've worked that out with our WordPress developer and everything, and now things are starting to flow a little bit smoother. We still have some content that is backed up that we still want to get put out. But we have a lot of content as it is. So I'm not like too upset about that or anything, or too overly concerned about it, or fretting about it too much. It's just good content, and I'd like to see it out there published so that people can take advantage of it and learn from it. But that is kind of still backed up a bit. So not exactly sure when that's going to materialize or come about, but once it does, hopefully I can get some more information out to everyone here in the community. So one of the things that I've struggled with maybe the last week or so has just been prioritization. There is a lot of things that are happening, that are coming down the pipeline, and it's like trying to figure out the best way of organizing so that things are systematically achieved one benchmark at a time. And so that's one of the things that I've kind of been struggling a little bit with. I think I've gotten a little bit better handle on it. So I am still working through some of this. But when you put out one fire, it's like another one pops up. It's kind of that same mentality. So that's kind of what I've been kind of dealing with a little bit. But when it gets I don't know, complicated or overbearing or anything like that. I just put Krishna first. A lot of times I'll just take time out of my day and do some meditation and do some prayer and try to learn something meaningful that is, in alignment with our Krishna conscious philosophy, our Bhakti philosophy. So those have been so some people would say, well, I've been there before, like when things are really hectic, you just have to push through, or, there's other ways of dealing with things. And yeah, that's true. There are a lot of different ways of handling situations and trying to make the most sense of it, in the way that works best for the individual. And we are all individuals, so we all have different ways of doing things, right? So what works for me may not work for another devotee or another person. But I can at least share my process, and then collectively, maybe, when the information's out there, we can make more informed decisions. And I think that's kind of the value that we all kind of have, through the helping and everything, and sharing of the information, and just being really transparent, and just, I don't know, maybe even a little vulnerable, like when it comes to the sharing and putting the information out. So that's been quite a lot of the things that's been going on. So I've been having to shuffle things around from locations to locations and different things. Our Bhakti house here is pretty large, so we have quite a bit of space here. And there are some things that are needed here at the center, so we've been slowly but surely getting some things here, and then things that don't belong here, getting those things out. So those are some of the bigger undertakings that we've been dealing with. That being said, it's been about a week now since I've mowed the grass, and the grass outside is getting pretty long. So we have rain out today, but that doesn't stop me with the real lawnmower, so the non-motor lawnmower that I use. And I think I've showed you guys this on different posts maybe, but I can still mow pretty good. Actually, it works out pretty good if the ground's not overly wet and there's no rain happening, of course. Then it's, usually I can actually do the Bhakti house lawn in like no time flat. I mean, well, it takes maybe an hour, but I get it done and everything. So I'm going to try to make that part of my going ons tonight. That being said, the daylight is leaving us, so I don't know if I'll get to it today or tomorrow. It's raining right now, so I can't really do it right at this moment. So I decided just to go ahead and put together this sort of teaching, or kind of this a vlog, if you want to call it that, to engage us, to put us together a little bit, to harmonize our family and our community, in the larger sense. And also to update you guys and give you some more information, but also to teach you some really cool things also. So I had the blessing of spending a couple of days with Mohan. He's another devotee here at the Bhakti house. And Mohan is a really sweet devotee, and he shared a really nice bhajan. It was one that is one of his favorites from childhood and stuff, and it's really nice. I'm not like really good at the melody, but da 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 da, and that's kind of the melody. And it's Rama Rama Jaya Raja Ram, Rama Rama Jaya Sita Ram, and then it just repeats that same verse over and over again. And when we got together, we were doing it as to the Maha Mantra. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we were putting that together and just having some fun with it. So, but he had asked me, his request was, Chandra, can you teach me like how to play this bhajan? Can you figure this bhajan out for me and teach it to me? And so of course I did. And so we really, once we got that together and we had a nice kirtan and everything, and we were able to go out into the city of Jackson and put together some really nice kirtan for the people here, and share the holy names and everything. So that was something that was really, really rewarding on many fronts, and so Krishna really paved the way just through. So my point for the lesson here is not to learn the bhajan or anything, and I'll teach it to you guys, of course, but the lesson here is that when something is so small, like just some little bit of devotional service and a little bit of a good heart, and even though the world is busy, all of our lives are busy. We have so many things going on, so many frustrations, so many different things hitting us at all times. It's material life, right? But we can look to Krishna, we can look to God, we can go inward, and we can also unify ourselves together and have devotee association. And so devotee association is so huge, it's so big. And so me and Mohan, we were able to connect, and it was a nice connection. And in doing so, his request, sharing something meaningful from his childhood, from his heart, was actually able to, I don't want to say explode, maybe that's not the best word for it, but it was able to blow up into something that was much more bigger than just his childhood. It was able to be able to share this entire bhajan and then the holy names, of course, with so many people, so many hundreds of people that had come by that day and had joined in our kirtan and had fun with us and got to just experience spiritual life being lived, like a literal living spiritual life. It's not just something that we read a book, a spiritual text or something, put the book up on the shelf, and then we walk away, and maybe some of it will stick, maybe some of it won't, maybe we'll remember, maybe we won't, maybe we'll forget. But the lesson, of course, is the action. So when we're learning things, this was something else that's also that I wanted to kind of preach on a little bit today, is this idea of learning. So we can do things like book learning, and we can do even studying, self-study. But until there's the application of that study, the actual doing it, you may think that you have a grasp or a handle on something, but until you actually get out there and are, I don't want to say forced, but you're choosing to apply it, then you find out where the weaknesses are. That's where you start to really recognize where you start to have you start to slip and where you need to start putting more of your attention at. But then you also realize that the more time that you actually put out there for practice and real life, examples. An example could be like learning a language, for example. If you're trying to learn a language, many of the devotees try to learn Hindi, for example. It's kind of our community language in many ways, outside of just English, of course. And it's a very beautiful language, and it comes out of Sanskrit, so it helps to learn Hindi. It also helps us with the Sanskrit and also with the scriptures, the shastras and everything. And there's so many different nuances to Hindi that we just don't really get in English. So you're out there trying to practice it. Yeah, you can read the books, you can study on your own, do a lot of self-study. But until you're actually out there practicing it with other people or communicating kind of one-on-one or trying your best to say something meaningful, it's very difficult, right? So that's just kind of the example of what I'm saying. The application sometimes is where a lot of times the learning really happens. So you can get the book knowledge, the book smarts, but the application of doing it is where you start to really get that fluency or get things really moving nicely. So it's the same thing in spiritual life. We can talk about spiritual life, we can read the books, we can have an idea, we can talk philosophy, but until we actually start living spiritually, there's quite a difference there, And when you start to live spiritually, that's when the hard work really begins. And that's I guess, hashtag monk advice if you want. So that is today's message. I hope that this inspires you. I hope that this helps you. If you're interested in actually the kirtan side of things and learning the bhajan, I will teach that to you guys now. So the song, when he played it for me, was actually, I could tell pretty quickly that it was right around the key of C. Come to find out, it was the key of C sharp major. So it's kind of a da 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 da. So that's kind of the melody if you're going to hum it out. So if you're learning to play the song by ear, one of the first things I do personally, my approach is to kind of get a grasp of what that melody is. My teacher, Badhari Das, he was teaching me this week. He and I had connected, and he was actually sharing with me that sometimes, especially when it comes to chords, some of our songs are played with chords only, right? And sometimes it's difficult when you just know the chords. How do you know the melody? It's difficult to find the melody. Well, it comes in the singing of the chorus, if you want, like the people actually singing it, like the devotees singing it and collectively getting together. Then you can get the melody, and once you get the melody, you can actually figure out the harmony, or I'm sorry, not the harmony, but the melody. And then from there, you can actually improve upon the melody if you need to. So we were talking about some of these things, and he was giving some pointers and some advice, and so I just thought I'd share that with you guys. We always take so much humility in learning from our experienced mentors, and as mentees, we try to do the best we can to follow in their example and to also lead and to share and move things forward for the next generation and of devotees and for the current generation as well, or for even past generations that want to learn. So if I turn on the harmonium, so this is the keyboard. And so the first thing that I always do when I'm trying to learn something by ear is I learn it usually on the piano first, and then I transfer over to the harmonium, which is kind of our traditional instrument for playing on. I typically just use a keyboard, and right now I just have like a Casio. It's a SA76. It's a little bit longer than the one I typically use, but the sound is nice on this one. I thought it might go good for the sound. So, da 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 da. So the key of C, C sharp major. So if you're looking at this, it's going to be this key here. This is the actual scale. Okay, so this is a very easy song to play. Okay, that's the first part. We go right to the right of the sa. The sa is right here. Sa is our C sharp. We go right to the right of it, and that's our knee. And we end right on sa. So this is C sharp right here. So that is a song. So, and that's it. So then you practice it. Of course, you have your right fingering position. Pretend like you're holding that softball. Get your fingering correctly. Okay, and then it's just about finding that melody, right? You can learn the notes and still not know necessarily the melody, but knowing the notes and playing melody on keyboard is a lot easier to catch the melody than I think it is if you're just playing chords only. So for this, we'll just play it with just melody. Sometimes the sweetest kirtans are just melody only. So we're on sa, which is our C sharp. So we can first do the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so we have that. So it's nice. Now it's a little bit more difficult because I'm not used to the bhajan song. So it's Rama Rama, Jaya Raja Ram, Rama Rama Jaya Sita Ram, and then it just repeats. So it's I'm going to be a little bit slow here. So Rama Rama Jaya Raja Ram, Rama Rama Jaya Sita Ram. Okay, I got it, but it's a little shaky, right? So that's the bhajan. So we have to kind of practice and get it more. So now we can go to harmonium feature, or the organ feature on your keyboard. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Jaya Sita Ram. I see I messed it up, but Rama Rama Jaya Ram, Jaya Ram, Rama Rama Jaya Sita Ram, Rama Rama Jaya Raja Ram, Rama Rama Jaya Sita Ram. Okay, and so that's our bhajan. So that's our kirtan for tonight and our harmonium lesson. So you guys can literally practice that. And again, I'll put in the description in the video at some point. I mean, you guys have to remind me because I do get a little, sidetracked sometimes with everything else going on. And for that, I do apologize, but I'll try to see what I can as far as getting that into the description of the video so that you guys have that. If I don't, reach out to me. Just go to thebhaktihouse.org, go to our contact page, fill in the form, and that will come to me or one of the other devotees, and they will get with me, and then I will actually get you guys a PDF of the actual the song. I'll just put together the Sargam notes and everything for you, and I'll put together the Western notes also for you guys, so no worries. But just remind me and let me know if you like that bhajan. It's really nice, and you can. I'll actually try to get you guys a link to my friend's version of the bhajan that he actually shared with me. It's actually a YouTube link, so I can actually put that in the description as well, so that you guys have that, and then you can actually get a better idea of the melody. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning into the Bhakti House today. This is some of what I wanted to share with you guys. I guess I'll probably save some more for another time. I try to keep these lessons to around 20 minutes, and right now we're just a little over that. So anyways, much love and many blessings. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of the Bhakti House. Hare Krishna.